Hello everybody and welcome to part 14 of What If Izuku Midoriya found the Omnitrix. If you've missed any of the previous parts, remember there is always a link in the description below and the annotation above, so you can check them out and catch up. If you still enjoy the series, you know what to do to show your support. And I also want to add, I made a new Discord server. If you want, you can check it out in the description below. I'll be there to chat if you want. After the event, Camino Ward, All For One, was taken into custody, taken to Tartarus prison. All Might announced his retirement and stated that he wanted to put all of his time into raising the next generation of heroes, having found a capable young prodigy with, having found many young prodigies with a lot of potential. The plumbers investigated the base and confiscated anti-technology above level 3 that the League had illegally obtained, although they didn't find much. All the students returned home, including Tokoyami, although he's still being watched in case the League of Villains decided to attack. In Midoriya's home, a lot of resting, after a lot of resting, Midoriya finds himself fiddling with the Omnitrix while eating a piece of bread, trying to unlock the master control he had before. Midoriya thinks, how did I unlock it last time? I mean, tried the same code again, it doesn't work. Did the Rebo change it? I tried with my Galvin form and the Rebo Crustacean form. Nothing seems to work. Suddenly, he hears a ring at the doorbell. Midoriya says, I'll get it, and gets up, going to the door. As he opens the door, he finds All Might. Midoriya says, All Might, why are you here? All Might says, pardon me, young Midoriya, I'm here to talk to your mother about the dorm situation. Oh, and since I didn't get a chance, I wanted to thank you for helping me beat All For One. Midoriya asks, what are you talking about with dorms? And no need to thank me, I probably only got in your way. All Might reassures Midoriya, saying, nonsense. You were a great asset to have. I doubt I could have beaten him on my own. Inko then comes to the door asking, who is it? Inko then sees All Might and says, oh, All Might? I can't believe the school sent you. Inko invites All Might in and prepares a bit of tea. They have a discussion about the dorms. At first, Inko is kind of reluctant, but while talking, they discuss Midoriya, his progress and capabilities, and Inko eventually ends up giving Yue her blessing. A couple of days later, the students go to Yue, assembling in front of the newly built Heights Alliance. There, Aizawa says, given everything that has happened, I'm glad that we were able to bring Class A back together. Zero smiles and says, so, we all got the go-ahead to move on campus. Toru sighs and says, it took a lot of convincing for my parents. Zero says, I was pretty about mine. Ojiro says, makes sense, you did get the worst of the gas attack. Toyo says, we're glad to see the teachers got to go back too. I was afraid you wouldn't be allowed. The people at the press conference seemed pretty mad at you. Aizawa says, I was surprised as well, but the circumstances have changed. Now then, I'll explain how the dorms will work shortly. First, we haven't forgotten about the provisional hero license you were supposed to obtain during the training camp. Sato says, oh yeah, that's what we were there for. Toru says, so much has happened, it totally slipped my mind. Aizawa says, Midoriya, you have gotten the go-ahead from hero agencies in the past to use your quirk to help in emergencies. I'm sure that access is only certain situations, although it helped in many circumstances and has helped us all. You did save All Might after all. But this time you'll be gaining the license based on your own merit, and since you're all going up against second and third year students, you have it tough. Now look alive and enjoy your new home. Aizawa walks into the building and the students follow. The students walk into the building and Aizawa explains, each student dormitory holds one class. Girls are on the right and boys are on the left. The entire first floor is a common area. That's where you'll find the kitchen, baths, and laundry rooms. The class starts looking around. Zero says, there's even a courtyard. Mina says, so spacious and new. And Uraka says, I'm living in a mansion! And she falls to the ground. Mineta, as always, makes a pervy comment, but is shot down by Aizawa. Aizawa then continues, living quarters start on the next floor. 4 boys and 4 girls on each level. Everyone gets their own room. You should be comfortable, you got your own AC, fridges, and closets. Midoriya looks around and one of the rooms and says, "We have balconies! Wow!" Yororozu says, "This room is about the size of my closet at home, but I'll manage." Uraka says, "It's the size of my house!" and falls to the ground again, having Ida be concerned over her. Aizawa pulls out a sheet of paper and says, "These are your dorm assignments. The belongings you sent ahead have already been placed in your new rooms. So spend the day unpacking and getting settled in. I'll tell you more about your next few lessons tomorrow. For now, get to work." And the class says, "Yes, Mr. Aizawa." The class unpacks and gets settled in, and they have the same competition they do in the canon over which room is best. Sato still wins. After the competition, Zero accidentally touches the Omnitrix. The Omnitrix then vibrates in a new silhouette, that of Snar-oh, comes out. Midoriya realizes something. He then says, "Guys, come, can you guys please touch my watch?" Ashido asks, "What for?" Midoriya says, "Just please do it." All the class then touches the Omnitrix and Midoriya says thank you. Midoriya has now unlocked Gravittack from Uraka, Snar-oh from Zero, Blitzwolfer from Jiro, Bullfrag from Froppy, and the worst from Kirishima, and Artiguana from Todoroki. The next day the students go back to class and Aizawa tells them that they will be developing ultimate moves and updating their hero suits. After a bit of time later in the day, the students have practiced about 3 hours. Midoriya, while walking in a special move combining different alien forms, hard to do if you can't switch with your mind anymore and have to actually hit the Omnitrix every time. Midoriya notices Bakugo talking to Cementos. Bakugo asks, "Is there any way we can get a gym in private to spar a bit?" Cementos says, "Should be fine, but don't go overboard. You can use Gym Alpha." Bakugo says thanks. Bakugo then goes over to Midoriya and says, "Yo, Deku." Midoriya, who was doing an air maneuver with Spidermonkey, looks at Bakugo and tries to switch to Jetray, but can't. He then hits the Omnitrix, turning into Astrodactyl, and lands, turning back to normal. Midoriya says, What is it, Kachan?" Bakugo says, "You and me, we got training room Alpha, let's go." Both of them go to the gym. Once they're in there, Bakugo turns to Midoriya and says, "Your watch, what is it?" Midoriya says, "What do you mean?" Bakugo grabs Midoriya's wrist and says, "Don't play dumb with me, Deku. I know this is the reason you can transform. A couple of weeks before the end you got it, and only since then have you ever transformed. Not only that, but you keep playing with it, like you are trying to unlock something. In the exam the watch was malfunctioning, something was happening to it and you couldn't use your transformations. And that stunt yesterday." Midoriya is silent. Bakugo says, "You are not trying to deny it, so it must be true." Bakugo then starts stretching and says, "Get ready." Midoriya asks, "For what?" Bakugo says, "Sparring match, and after that you're telling me everything about the watch." Bakugo gets in a battle ready position and Midoriya hits the watch, turning into the worst. Bakugo goes in for an attack and Midoriya says, "Wait! This is one of the useless ones, I need to switch. Bakugo hits Midoriya with an explosion. Midoriya is faced by the attack and hits the Omnitrix again, switching into Spitter, and spits mucus at Bakugo, throwing him back. Midoriya switches to feedback and electrocutes the mucus. Bakugo uses his explosions to jump into the air to attack and hits Midoriya with an explosion. In the cloud of smoke that was created, a green flash of light shines, and out of the smoke comes 4 arms punching at Bakugo. Bakugo evades a punch and blocking another that breaks his gauntlet because they're in their hero suits. Bakugo then goes in with an attack using the other gauntlet to create a huge explosion. Midoriya switches to Fasttrack, evading the attack and running out of the way. He is about to punch Bakugo again, since he's running around evading. He's about to punch Bakugo when he hits a tick Tick, tick. Midoriya turns back into himself as a is heard, and he stumbles towards Bakugo, not being able to maintain the speed. Bakugo quickly reacts and throws Midoriya over his shoulder, quickly pinning him down. Midoriya says, "Damn it, it ran out of power." Bakugo says, "What do you mean? I've seen you go hours with your transformations and switch without hitting your watch. How did you lose?" Bakugo lets go of Midoriya. Midoriya says, "If it was against All For One, that villain Alma was fighting, he reset the Omnitrix and now I can't keep my transformations for very long. I have an energy limit." Bakugo asks, "What's the Omnitrix?" Midoriya says, "That's how the watch is called." Bakugo says, "Tell me everything," and Midoriya starts the story. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this episode. If you did, you already know what to do. If you have any suggestion, please leave it in the comments below. And remember, there's Discord chat now. You can always check that out in the description. Until next time, have a nice day, everyone. Bye!